What's going on, guys? It is all about Counter-Strike episode 6. We're running through the year. It is the 4th of April, 2025. For me in Romania, it's 21:38 in the evening. For Devilwalk, it's 20:38, so just an hour behind. And again, everyone is waiting for me because I'm the one who was traveling to the event to make sure we could see this happen. But Devilwalk, you've just been enjoying life, right? You've been chilling. What's new?
Yeah, keeping up with the grind in Marvel Rivals, watching some of the Blast. So it's a good life, you know. You said last time we have to check in every time what rank I'm in.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Where we at?
I've reached Celestial rank from I think I don't know,
Is that like a
Plat.
global? Is that equivalent to
No, I
global?
think they have some weird ranking systems. There's like 2 more ranks after that one. So I have to.
Okay. So you're in the big boy leagues now.
Yeah, but I just want to reach the biggest rank and then leave the game forever.
So you're not actually enjoying the game that much. You just want to get the highest rank, say you've done it, and
Sometimes
then
I'm
stop
enjoying
playing
it,
it.
but it's mostly, I would say it's like kind of a nostalgic path through, when you went into Counter-Strike and you grinded your way up to the top. It's
Yep.
more of a mission of self-proof for yourself,
So the old
So
man can still do it.
yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm enjoying it, and yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna celebrate my birthday, which is on Monday. It's not tomorrow, but
Yeah.
it's
It's
you
so
need you.
funny. If my birthday was on the Monday, I'm just telling you, I would celebrate it on the part after. I would never celebrate it before. It feels like it'd be like a curse.
Well, I'm not the one deciding when to celebrate my birthday this
Yeah,
time.
true.
It's my girlfriend
people making
making
plans for you.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'll just have to take it as it comes. But yeah, it's gonna be enjoyable. I hope. I don't
Well,
know what any of it is.
you were talking nostalgia, right? I'll
Yeah.
show you what I've got. I've got this little bad boy. I have become a Digidestin from Digimon again. If you remember the original Digimon,
I
I don't know if
remember
that was your
Digimon,
thing.
but it was
This,
always in my kind of the cool kid crew
bro,
who
look at
were into Pokemon.
yeah,
Uh,
but look,
it
look
was
at
kind
this.
of a knockoff.
Look at my little guy. Like this is
Oh,
like a Tamagotchi,
yeah.
and you shake it, and he walks, and you do battles, and you train things. I bought this for a bit of a nostalgia trip, and it's actually just keeping me busy while I'm running around training. So I just did Blast, and I went and spent 4 days with my son. We went to Chessington World of Adventure, which is like a big theme park place. He's
Yeah.
still owning at like being very good at going on crazy rides. Like I'm watching some of these teenagers and like older almost adults be feared of what they're going on. He has now done like the fastest rides at Ferrari World, the best ones at Warner Brothers Worlds. He's killing it. He's doing me proud. And
So
I'm now leveling my
is he
Digimon
gonna
at the same
become like
time.
a adrenaline junkie when he grows up?
I think I might be turning him into that. I think that might be happening. So yeah, we had a few days back home, and now I'm in Bucharest because it is PGL Bucharest. No arena this time. We'll come on to that a little bit later on. But oh, actually, yeah, we have to say this thing. So this episode, we're not sure how long it will run. I'm not going to say it's going to be a shorter episode for everyone out there listening, but I'll give you a great piece of information straight from the beginning. G2 Munacy is joining us sometime during PGL Bucharest for a special sit-down episode with our first guest. We'll be talking about all things of his career. We'll be asking some questions. We'll be just seeing what he thinks of the current Counter-Strike landscape and what's going on, and obviously get his thoughts on the event. And it's good that actually G2 have come to PGL Bucharest. They're trying to obviously get some more experience getting ready for the major.
Yeah, and he's obviously a very well-spoken, lad. So it's gonna be very interesting to have him on and yeah, see
Oh,
what he
yes.
thinks about everything.
Our baby goat.
Yep.
That is what I can't wait to see. Now, let's start with Lisbon because Lisbon, I'm going to say this, right? Like we made some predictions that were not really hot takes. I think we both said Vitality would win the whole thing. They did go on to win the whole thing. Probably the best grand final of the whole year, but we'll come into that a little bit later. We'll start by looking at the group stages. Do you remember when I said to you when we were doing the predictions for the opening games, I was like, I just have a feeling that FaZe will lose that game against VP. Well,
Yes,
I
you
don't want to be
did.
the one that was right. It's not about that. It's just, it's kind of telling of the signs right now of where they're at. Like, FaZe has still got a lot of work to do, man. A lot of work to do. And do you know what's sad? It's never nice to watch a team get 13-0. Never. And I would
No,
never expect FaZe to be the ones getting 13-0, especially by VP. That series went
no,
from being
it's
super hype to, oh my God, what is happening? Oh my God, this is actually happening. Oof.
it was a reverse start to the grand final, essentially. But no, it was lackluster. But same time, it was close to maps. But 13-0, it's tough to recover from that one. I mean, at that point when it's like 7, 8, 9-0 and just keeps tumbling on, you just want one round. That's all you want. As a
Yep.
player, you would love to lose 13-1. Love it. You would be all smiles. Everyone would be laughing. At
Yeah.
least we didn't get crushed
It
13-0.
didn't happen. No one can
Yeah.
say we got 13-0s,
Because
but it
these are
was,
like, but it's memes that stay forever. There's still
yeah.
screenshots of like, the big thing, in 1.6 used to be like, if someone ended a map on 016, right?
Yeah.
So, and people would, you would go into gather channels, and if you had, a moment where you played an official game and you ended the stats with 016, everyone would send you that screenshot to like kind of get you off balance. And
Make you
that's something
worried,
you
make you relive the
never
moment.
ever want. And 13-0,
No.
it's kind of that kind of moment.
But we got to look at FaZe because I wouldn't say it wasn't a great showing at all, but it also wasn't the best showing. Like, this VP1 was tough, but I think VP still like is a team that has individuals that they can pop off do well. They then beat Astralis. We're going to come on to Astralis later, but Astralis looked shockingly bad. And then they lost to Spirit 2-0. There's no shame in really losing to Spirit 2-0. 9th to 12th is not great for FaZe. You expect more because it's the players they've got. But I
Yep.
still think like I was speaking to Elise there. He was very open in saying that like it's not been so easy to move to Europe. He's had a lot of problems. It's not easy moving anywhere, right? At all.
No, no, no.
So
I
like
completely
you
understand
let
him. I
alone
mean,
going from America to Europe, it's like I can give them more than the 3-month window of a new team, but they do need to start to look a bit better than what I'm seeing because this is FaZe after all.
yeah, but that's also an excuse maybe you can give Elish more than anyone else on the team.
Yeah.
If we're gonna be completely honest, because it's not just Elish underperforming in against Spirit, for example. It's the only really consistent member they have on the team right now is Frozen, and
Yes. Yep.
it's not enough. You can look at any team that want to fight for potential, playoffs places. They have two or even three very consistent pieces.
Yeah.
Where you can look at vitality. You look at Rops, siuhy. They have Flames, who I also think is super consistent. Messi, also consistent, but a little bit lower level at the moment. And then you
Which
have
is
Apex, who can
understandable.
just spike and be the best player on the server all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like it, that's a real, team. You feel like, okay, they're gonna win. They can win every event this year. Um, and I
I'm
look
glad
at
you
Face
mentioned
and just
Apex though,
yeah,
because I was going to
but
ask you this, right? This is a topic we've been talking about a lot. Fragging IGLs. Now, I want my IGL to be an IGL who leads the team well, but it seems like we're in a position where we're needing to see more output from some of the IGLs. Like we need not. I'm not asking them to hit a 1.10 rating every game, but I mean you can't have them be complete liabilities anymore. Maybe like it was in the old days. It's just not possible.
no. But I also think, it's a weird balance, because I think if you've done like prep work and you've done a lot of like if you do the prep work well and you
Yeah.
do a great game plan, you know what directions you're going to take without you always having to think on your feet and come up with a plan, you're going to have higher performing IGLs. And I do actually think the Vitality is really good at their prep, because you can see almost in every game they play, they have like nades thrown in specific corners for their opponents. Apex is taking these like solo initiatives, and I don't think he's like calling very much. He's just going to die, taking duels, going to disrupt the other team. And I
Yep.
think it makes him have more impact in the game, both individually and then calling, because
Hmm.
there's two angles. There's both that he can call when he's dead for the
Yep.
other teammates, but it's also he has time and room and the space to think of what to do in the next round while he's dead first, while the timer is going, right? So he might
Yeah.
have an extra minute compared to another more clutchy or alive all the time kind of IGL, who you gotta have to be in the moment. You can't be starting to think about the next round until there's a point in that. So I
True.
think these two kind of things can help an IGL. And then there's the thing where I always thought, if I you know if you start on the T side, I
Hmm.
always like that, because then you can just focus on the calling first and then just try to be in the game. You don't have to be calling anymore or do that much more on the CT side, because then it's more of a, I would say, more players will take initiatives with calls on the CT side compared to a T side. So you get alleviated
Yeah,
in
you need
other
them
ways
to.
on the side. Yeah. So I think that's ways that Vitality maybe do elevate Apex in some way. But I think the prep is a major factor.
I'd agree with that. When you've got obviously Xtaz and Matt, he's been working with for a very long time. Obviously, Xtaz coming in after Zonic had left, but I mean, he knows these guys. He's got a lot of experience. There's three French guys doing it together as well. That's going to be helpful for him. Coming back to FaZe though,
Yeah.
it's not great. 9th to 12th, quite disappointing still. I think they're very disappointed by it as well. Um, I'm willing to give them more time, but that window ends after the major. Like, I need to see
Yeah.
something at the major. I need to see some development. I'd like to see it here in Bucharest as well. I'd like to see a little bit more from them for sure. Um, do you know what the biggest disappointment of this event for me was Astralis. And at first, when you might look at it and you think they lost 2-0 to Vitality and 2-0 to FaZe, you're like, oh, that's really harsh. But it's like, this isn't a FaZe who's playing at their very top level. Vitality, yes. I think, what was the scoreline on Vitality games? 13-4,
Vitality,
13-6.
yeah.
But it didn't even look like they had a chance to fight on it. Like, I thought, okay, if remember, they skipped events, they had time off since Cluj to come into this and be ready. I thought, okay, this is where I give Astralis this moment where I say they can do some damage here, they can show us their level, and they're picking Inferno, which was like 100% win ratio for Vitality. They must have something insanely prepared, or maybe they should have just gone for another map. And they just got walked over, absolutely walked over. And I
Yeah,
can
I
give
mean,
them that. I can say, okay, it's not too bad. But then it's the way they lost the FaZe as well, and you just start to think this isn't even the strongest FaZe, and you weren't competitive against them either. Like, something's really wrong here. This is
I
not
mean,
pretty Counter
yes.
Strike.
They had a, which event was it where they actually played pretty decently and
Cluj.
were a bit of a, it was Cluj. Okay.
Yeah, that was the lot. They came third. They beat FaZe 2-1 on the stage as well. It's that third place decider. Remember, obviously we haven't had third place deciders for so long, but
Yeah.
it's like it's pretty crazy when you think of it like this. When you think you go from having that's actually they nearly had a month off from Cluj to blast open Lisbon, and they looked massively worse.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign.
No. I mean, they were Did they come last? Yeah, they came last.
Yeah, bro,
I mean,
last
it's
place.
not a great sign when you look at you're in the company of like the Huns and
Yeah.
Imperial.
And by the
That's
way,
not where you want to be in the world.
even if FaZe beat VP, I think VP would have still smashed Astralis 2-0.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have mattered which team they faced because they beat FaZe in Cluj and then they come here, don't work out, can't get anything done. Yeah, it's they were my biggest disappointment, and it's almost like alarm bells ringing, worrying for me what I'm seeing there. Like Stairs just re-signed as well for a good amount of time. Obviously, very stable player, but I feel like they are still one change away from being able to find their flow, despite having they don't have the best Danish players, that's for sure. They don't have the best Danish player in the world right now, but they have what's supposed to be the best mix. It's like you got Stown, Yabi, Cadian back together, Stare and Device into the mix. Obviously, Cadian going onto the rifle is going to
I mean,
be
I was gonna
problematic.
ask that because do you think this is just not a constellation that can work because of that reason?
Oh. Yeah, because Cadian's never done it, right? And I'm sure he's working very hard at doing it, but it's like a big change for him. The sad thing was, I don't know how true this was, but people were tweeting this, right? I haven't checked Cadian's streams, but like when Cadian was streaming, which is great to see his streaming, by the way. I always like when players are streaming and doing some extra content. But like he was using the AWP more than he was using the rifle. And I'm like, well, if you're face thing or playing with friends and streaming, I want to see you using the rifle as well. Like get as much practice as you can.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a good sign. But I mean, at some point, I can also understand him if you're having rough games like this where you go minus 21 on two maps. It's
Oof.
like you go
Ugly.
into a face it game and you kind of want to I don't know, mine confidence to some point, and you just he goes back to that comfort op, and but that's a big issue. I mean, Cadian is a great opper. He's kind of a weird opper in some. He's not that. He's more of an X factor opper than I would say like a stable device type opper.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
Definitely. He thrives in the craziness.
yeah,
He likes to make some of his own wild plays and he can call his own game a bit like that. And obviously, he's always been calling and AWPing, you know?
yeah.
It's very hard to then take away that power you had, sending the troops where you want to go, making the crazy clutches, taking the information as you see it. You know, it's a whole different way of calling when you're with the rifle.
Yeah, it's a weird one because I mean, who was it? They had Cadian. I'm just thinking back to old heroic. So right.
Cadian's down, Yabi, Tessa, Shush.
So you have stare and device is essentially if you just remove these pieces and compare them to each other, they should be at least in a very very similar space where they were with the old heroic, which was like top 5, top 6 in the world, right?
At one point, they were top one, you know, or at
Yeah.
least top two. They've had very good runs.
So it's very weird that all of a sudden, you're not confident that they even gonna make out. I don't know how many group stages they will make their way out of this year, but it's not looking
Not
like
many.
many. Yeah,
Not many. Not when the elite teams are there. When you're looking at like obviously PGL suffers from not having all the very best teams going each time. But like if you're looking at your blast events and your ESL events and events with like the top four teams, they're not making playoffs. It's not reasonable right now for them. And remember, just think of this: the organization spent a lot of money in getting all these players together, a
yeah.
lot of money, and need to see some. They need to see some returns.
But it's so weird when I look at this. Can I say it? The Danish downfall, because
Is it the same as the Swedish?
It's super similar to the Swedish one. I like, but if you actually look at it, how many Danish top teams are there right now?
There is not a Danish top team.
Yeah, but it was
There is no such
essentially,
thing as a Danish top team.
and before it was 2, 3. You had like Copenhagen Flames with
Yep.
Hooksy. You had Astralis. You had Heroic, all competing in that kind of top 5 to top 15 space in the world.
Yeah.
Doing good at events and shocking people, and now all of a sudden there's nothing.
Somehow, by the way, Astralis have masterminded the downfall of Danish Counter-Strike, because I've just got this in my mind that had Astralis not poked the heroic bear, yeah, and say, we're going to take Stown and Yavi, I'm not saying it would be the same heroic right now, but it wouldn't have been this crazy fallout that happened where you've got Shush now playing for NIP, can't even qualify for events hardly, you know, not in any of the big events. Tess's on Falcons, and then the rest of them are on Astralis. Like, that is the weirdest situation to be in that I can think of.
Yeah.
It would have been better if Astralis just let them keep the players. We didn't have the stabby moment. Everything was fine.
Well, to be fair, their plan worked. They are the best team in Denmark.
Yeah. At what cost?
That was
At
the
what
goal, I
cost?
assume.
Wait. At what cost? It is world ranking 12th. That's what it cost.
That's not terrible. I think
it's not terrible, but
it's
if
not
you
terrible
just
right
think
now, but it's
Astralis and the
looking
names,
it's looking like it's a downwards trend, not an upwards one.
yeah, definitely. We'll have to see how they do here. I don't know. They definitely were the biggest disappointment. I think on the group stage, there wasn't anything else that was too wild, right?
I mean, it was the Huns opening the lower
Oh, you want to
bracket
touch on the
runner.
Huns Falcons game?
I mean, I just remember people talking about it when it happened. It was kind of crazy.
It got a bit too close for comfort, considering the Falcons were coming off the back of being second at Cluj, you know, and we were praising the positives that were happening in there. Like,
yeah,
that 9 guy is awesome, by the way. If someone from Mongols drops off, yeah, then 9 can be in there. That's for sure. I also thought it's quite funny that Mazinho and Bartak brothers, they were just playing at the same event, getting to be at the same event at the same time. They told me that like they were practicing against each other for like a lot before the event as well. I guess kind of like helping each other out in some way.
Yeah.
But it was the Inferno went 16-13 in favor of Falcons. There was 100% a chance where Inferno could have gone to the Huns for sure.
Yeah.
I think it was a worrying sign, but then the experience carried it over the line for Falcons. I'm not going to say I'm worried about Falcons, but I will say that now when they come to another PGL event, I'm obviously expecting a deeper run because they lost to Mouse and they lost to VP.
Yeah.
I at the moment put both those teams above Falcons comfortably.
Yeah. I mean, we can move on from the group stage, I think.
To playoffs, I would just say Portuguese crowd again, absolutely amazing. Being reunited with my brother Archeron, dude, do you know what's so good? Most stage hosts are just on your own. When you've got someone to play off and have fun on the stage with, it's so good. You can take turns doing things. You can work the crowd together. It makes it more epic. Obviously, he speaks Portuguese as well, but the audience pretty much understood English fluidly. And also, I think this time I met more fans who were not from Portugal as well that come there. Lots travel from Brazil because of the passport situation. Brazilian people can just travel to Portugal with no problem. Still probably very expensive though. But in general, everyone's like memeing and joking and saying like, "Oh, Portugal doesn't deserve a major." If they could have a bigger arena, there is definitely a way where we could do a major there. I think that's not impossible. The crowd was hype. The energy is good. It's great weather, which then makes me perform better. Like every day I'm going outside in the sun and you're by the sea. Like it's awesome.
But
It's actually
Portugal is
awesome.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there plenty of times. It's always lovely. I was even there like in February once, and it was like 25 degrees out, and we went to the beach in
See?
February.
Look at
It's like,
that.
what the hell?
Look at that. Look at that. Oh, actually, do you know what we missed from the group stage? Because you said you want to go on the playoffs.
Yep.
We continue to be impressed by Mouse, but we can just touch on Mouse's whole run for this event.
Yeah.
We'll do it up until the grand final, I think. Right, let's do it that way, and we'll touch on the grand final as a piece on its own. But like 2-0 Falcons, the 2-1 spirit where it was 2 overtimes on Nuke, and then I don't know how many overtimes. It was 25-22 on Ancient. And dude,
I think I said that Spirit would win this game when we moved on in the last episode, and I was sitting
ah,
there watching, Dust to 13 it's done, it's in the bag. But
oh, bro. That, by the way, people keep saying about like this Mouse team being young. The experience is starting to show. Spinks obviously helps with that Brolan as well. But they are coming back from being 13-3'd, then winning in overtime on Nuke. They have ways of neutralizing Donk, making him less impactful than what he normally is. And Torji, for me, he may have not played the most amazing series out of his mind. I'm watching this guy. What map was it where he bro, he was so on Nuke, yeah? He
Yeah.
was 14 for 15, -1. This guy, I'm watching, remember, behind the stage. He's hyping him up. He's so positive. He's still smiling. This guy was not in his own head.
Yeah.
I've known him since the Academy League days, right? I met him when he was maybe 16, 17. He's 22 now, and he's acting like he has leader, captain qualities, even when he's getting destroyed, even when his mental could easily be broken. I was so impressed by that. I give him so much credit for that nuke win without looking at even anything to do with the score.
Yeah, but you see it constantly in their games. He's smiling, he's joking around with people
Yep.
near him, constantly screaming. Everyone's having a good time around him, and even win or lose, that has a huge effect as you're playing. Like as a player, if people can just joke around, you relax. Like
Yeah.
it's like actual science to it. One of the best things you can do to like de-stress yourself and get yourself into a normal state of mind where you can think logically and everything is like joke around, laugh, because
Yeah.
you don't laugh if you're too stressed. You don't. You
No.
like,
No, you tense up and you're
yeah,
more in it and
it's
problematic
like
for
over
yourself.
serious.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
just being in that kind of space and enjoying the time and the moment, playing in a professional Counter-Strike game, not thinking about if this goes wrong or that goes wrong. It just keeps
Yeah.
you, focused on the now.
It
And
must be
I
so
think
nice for
that's,
his teammates.
yeah,
So
it's
nice for
super
them.
nice. It's super nice to have a guy like that. It's always, even if you would have worse, stats than you mentioned, like 14,
Yeah.
15 is not bad.
No.
But like even worse, you would still like as a coach, as a teammate, you value that so much.
Yeah.
Have someone that makes you enjoy what you're doing at all times is invaluable.
Oh, definitely. They only lost to Vitality at this event. They only lost a map to Spirit. They 2-0 G2 on the stage. They 2-0 Eternal Fire. Also, where they had to come back into games as well as we start to move into the playoffs. Right, they were up on Nuke 9-3 and they closed it out in the end 8-4. It was a great call from Eternal Fire on their T side to be able to even bounce back into that. And then Dust 2, which they lost like 5 times in a row, they finally get the win and they do it against Eternal Fire, which is a quality Dust 2 team. Obviously, later we found out about Zontaris' health problems. He was struggling. But I
Yeah,
mean, Maus came back into games, didn't get run over, made sure they could fight their way back into games that almost looked lost for themselves. Let me ask you this. I think right now, because of the way that Maus seem to have an edge over Spirit, and they could also tilt Donk if you saw the in-game chat leaks that
yeah,
came out. By the way, there was a lot of like, you shouldn't share this chat log stuff and it makes the players look bad. I personally thought that was kind of whack from everyone who thought that was like not fine, because any fan can just download the demo from HLTV and people post that stuff all the time. And yeah,
yeah,
maybe Blast put the wrong part of the logs in, so like didn't show all the information, but like it was just some friendly banter between both teams, yeah, and didn't affect Miles in any way. And Donk was the one that was tilted. Like
yeah.
I don't
I
see
don't
anything
mind
bad in
that at
this.
all. There used to be a bunch of videos. Like I remember when they used to like stream like old majors and have the voice comms on like old majors I was a part of, and just
Yeah.
put it on YouTube. Still up there, by the way. There's like voice comms from both sides. There's in-game chat. Everything is revealed, and people thought that was freaking awesome.
You
Players
see, and
hated it, but that's only because
oh,
you
but
could
come
hear the
on.
strats for an entire game. That's revealing too much.
Yeah, but like, look at this, right? So I love Cyclone, by the way, and I think he's a great coach. But he puts this out after he says the stream just showed a snippet of Torzi's writing in game with Spirit, and after the game, raising his voice to address Spirit directly. First of all, I love that. That's good. He should be doing stuff like that. I want to see more of that. Blast should clear up the full chat and not portray wrongly him as the initiator. Tensions can run high in competition, and that's it. I don't think anyone cares who initiates or whatever. Yes, they should show it all. I agree with that part. But it's like, I don't think it was like putting him in any bad light. Like, these guys did this, it would get out there anyway. It was fucking cool. Like, we can't be so scared of saying things like that or having it out. I want these players to have it. I don't want them to think now in advance that like, oh, I won't write something in case it goes out there. No, I want to see more of it. The same as the
But
trash talking.
as long as everyone's clear on what the rule is, like if Blast just goes to them and like, just be aware, we're going to post snips and bits of in-game chat. If you want to write jokes, be aware of it. Okay,
Yeah,
done. It's, I think it's only really a bad thing if Blast has just done it without ever mentioning that this might be the
bro.
case.
They've been showing these in-game things, not just Blast, but multiple TOs
Yeah,
for a long
I'm
time.
sure Blast
For a
was
long
clear
time.
on this. If
Like,
not
this is something you can't complain about.
directly to the person, it's 100% in their like handbook, which they give out to all the teams and managers,
Yeah.
staff, whatever. Uh, I'm 100% certain of that. By the way, I
Do you
just
know?
looked through EPL, and the
Yeah.
only team they lost to at EPL was also Vitality, right?
See, so and they beat Spirit there as well. So I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Mao's number 2 team in the world right now. They don't have like a specific star of that team, but Torji can be a star. Zershin can be a star at times. Spinks can. Brolana's a frag in IGL's there. Yimfat's having his kind of up and down moments, but he does
But
play very hard
yeah,
roles.
their strength is really that they don't have a star. There's
yeah,
like if
yeah,
you look at like Mouse versus a Spirit, let's look at it
yeah,
from like a prep perspective. You play Spirit, you're like, we have to shut down Donk. Like
yeah.
that's the goal,
Kill
We're gonna
Donk,
nade
win
him till
game.
he dies. We don't want him to be able to engage in duels. We don't want him to be shooting any bullets. We just want to put like, our AWPer, hold the angles, he comes in, nade him down.
Yep.
That's it. But if you look at Mouse, like where do you take the prep? Who am I? I have to search for faults in specific rounds, or try to find a way to abuse a specific person. But it's not because if we eliminate him, we're going to have a greater chance. It's
Yep.
going to be more generalized strategically, because I
It's
don't
not
think
easy.
you need to shut down anyone specific in Mouse, because everyone can do pretty much, any of the kind of roles.
If Yimfat is your weak link, you have a good system and a good team to work in, because that's not weak. That's not weak at all.
Did you see his like aimbots training?
Oh, bro,
Video?
I filmed a video of that
Oh, you did?
back in Rio, when we did Rio last year, and I posted it and I was like, what the hell, man? Like,
This looks
what?
insane, man.
He looks like
It
he's
looks,
cheating. I know he's not
yeah,
cheating, but it looks like he's cheating.
it
Like,
looks
I've
insane.
watched many players warm up and do aimbots. He was doing something
He was the
special.
fastest I've seen, I think.
Bro, like, he's on autopilot, by the way. When I filmed, he has his AirPods in or whatever he's listening to music to, and he's just and
Yeah.
he's just cooking them. Oh my god! Yeah,
It was,
that boy's a beast, and he's still so young. And he's funny as well, man. He's got it all. He's actually
he's
got it
got that
all.
Finnish dry humor.
Yeah, definitely. And he can take it on the chin, like when he was caught retweeting porn and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. When Apex was screaming at him.
he don't care, man. You can't, like, he can't be phased by stuff like that. Not at all. Not at all. All right, let's look around the rest of this playoffs though, because obviously
Yeah.
Mal's we're still so positive on. This is just number 2 team in the world right now for me. The G2 game, I guess, was kind of disappointing that they played against Mal's. Like, it was again Monacy, but even Monacy wasn't there. Like, that must have been such a frustrating game for them. Their Inferno didn't work. They got battered on Nuke. I don't know. It felt like, I honestly, the group stage G2 I saw, the fact that they were able to overcome Mongols and get so many points that actually put them into stage 3 for the major, like, that's huge.
Yeah.
And then they get to the playoffs where I expect them to be better, you know? Snacks, mega experience. Hunter, actually someone who plays better on the stage. Monacy loves and lives for the stage. And then I get them there and I'm like, this was not the G2 I expected.
No, not at all. I mean, they got absolutely demolished. I don't even think Inferno was close at all.
I think maybe in the opening half, then there
Yeah,
was
the
a
opening
chance for it, and then
half.
after that, it was Mal's running away with it. They actually improved on what they did against G2 at EPL.
Yeah.
They were like, you know what, EPL wasn't good enough against G2. We'll do it better this time. I'm gonna have to talk badly about my Navi again because I saw what they tried to do here with the Anubis pick, right? People didn't expect Navi to be picking Anubis, they hadn't played it in so long. Spirit at times haven't looked that great on it. But
Yeah.
Spirit were not surprised. They told us this in the interview. They were ready for this as well. They were said logic, like Zontic said something like, logically, this is the only thing they can do because we're just better than them on all the other maps. I'm paraphrasing, by the way, but it's like they understood that Anubis could be an option. Dust 2 again, it was actually just like the same as what we saw in Katowice. Moments of chances, but they were down 8-4 on their on the T side. Sorry, on the CT side. And that's bad for a team that's been together as long as they have and how good I expect their CT size to be. Bit also had like his worst event ever in
But
history.
do you think they're like running out of steam a little bit, or do you think
Yeah,
they're
but they
just
should
like
they should have been able to reset over. Like, I gave them that running out of steam when they had the multiple 6 grand finals in a row and 3 trophies and deep runs everywhere.
yeah?
Once you did bad at World Final or Major, I gave them their chance for like, okay, we reset. But it's like, even now, it's playoffs, great. You face Spirit, which has always been a hard team for you. But
It
this one
was one of the
wasn't even
best
competitive.
rivalries before,
Yeah, it was so fun. You know, so fun, so exciting to watch.
and now even Londers, he was making a joke about some guy they filmed sleeping. He must be a Navi fan, you know?
Oh man. It's my life right now. But we've been here before. It's been tough before. If we remember, before they won the Copenhagen Major, no one expected it. They were all like,
That's
you know,
true. That's
they
true.
they were doing terrible. They were just like coasting by, going to events. The good thing is they are in stage 3 for the major. You know, they've got enough points. Them and G2 did what they needed to do here. Navi did beat Mongols, which was obviously important for them. You know, the
Yeah.
way they lost to Eternal Fire wasn't pretty though, because that was I don't know, they'd never lost to Eternal Fire in history, and they lost 2-0. It was that like semi-final, quarter-final game,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
that was actually such an important game because, you know, going to
They're
semis would have been a lot
playing.
better.
Yeah. So,
Rough.
are we moving on to Eternal Fire versus Mousesports?
Yeah, that was we briefly touched on it. I think.
I can talk about a few rounds because I actually watched this one today.
Mhm. Oh, ooh,
Um,
you're up to
yeah,
date as of today.
yeah.
Okay, what you got
So
for me?
essentially, I was watching this and I actually thought Eternal Fire kind of threw this game in a sense because there was 2 rounds, one on each map that I thought
Mhm.
was like this is 100% one. Um,
No such
I
thing.
think one of them was CT side nuke. Uh, I think they had info that all mouse players are on yard. I think it was 4v3 or
Yep.
something. There's like 20 seconds left, and Jota is the one holding lobby, right? He
Mhm.
starts running away from lobby as mouse is entering lobby, sneaking from yard.
Oh.
And he's running back to ramp, you know? And Mouse hears this. They just walk straight inside. Voxic is like above on rafters holding heaven. And Santaris is like by the hut boxes holding main.
Yep.
And they just walk out hut and kill both of them. And they lose that round. And it's one of these rounds where, you know, it affects the money of Mouse because they ran away with that half. If they could have found some sort of stability on that round of Nuke, I think this could have been a different game.
Also, did you see the Dust 2 round?
The Dust 2 round was when Santaris
Wait a sec, are you going to say yes? Thank you. I knew you were going to say that.
What is happening,
bro?
He's standing like between Spawn and Long for like 20 seconds.
Because I want to get your take. Because obviously, as someone who watched it live, I was sat there thinking, okay, Zantares heard someone short, right? That's where he last saw someone. So maybe he was going to sit that and like wait it out. Yeah. But Wicadia is the one who was obviously saying like, no, I'm going for it. And he gets the kills he needs. He actually does more than what's expected of him. But like you said, Zantares at that point has already made the decision, like, I'm not going for it. If he had any backup, I am almost 100% sure they win that round and then they win Dust 2.
But it's not only that. Santaris had a kit. He was the guy with the kit. So Wicadia is fighting in B-side for I don't know how long, 25 seconds or something. And Santaris hasn't moved an inch on the map. Not a fucking inch. And I was sitting there like, what are you doing, bro? And then he comes when Wicadia dies.
Yeah.
And then runs back
You
away.
Can't trade him. You can't trade him either. Like he needed to be there before.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Wicadia won this round for them. And if he just had even if Santaris just goes in there 5-10 seconds earlier, dies, so Wicadia has the kit access, that's good enough, you know, in a trade situation. Because you have to remember, that player had to run from Dark to Xbox to challenge Wicadia. Like, he is... Like, Santaris spotted him crossing the door. If he's there, he had a moment guaranteed. Of 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And if he just made the decision during these 15 seconds to help Wicadia, they would have won the round.
I'm so happy because I knew you were going to point on that round when you said it as well. Like, it's the same round I flipped out on. It's the same round.
I would be so tilted. Like, if I was Wicadia...
I'll give him this. I'll give him an excuse because I would be tilted on Wicadia too, but he's too nice anyway. And obviously, Zantares is the legend of the team. Yeah. After this, though, Zantares says, I am no different than a corpse. By the way, this is just a translation. This sounds fucked when you read it like this, but I tried to do my best, but this is all. I have a big problem with my back. I can't breathe. My stomach is constantly burning. It hasn't gone away for 25 days. I take 5 pills a day and I walk around like I'm unconscious. Please excuse me. Now, that is a legitimate excuse.
That is a legitimate excuse.
They have been on the road for a very long time as well. And then afterwards, I don't know where the tweet is. I saw a tweet from Eternal Fire, like main account afterwards, where they said like, after the event, he's gone home. He's seen a doctor. Where is it? They've got like a generic Eternal Fire. Where's Eternal Fire CS one? I just want to make sure I'm saying this correctly, right?
While you look up that, I'm just saying, generally, I think Eternal Fire could have won both of these maps because they win that Wicadia round, they money fuck them. They win the CT round on Nuke, which is just completely threw away our already won round. It could have looked a lot different. You know.
So I've got it here. It says, announcement. We'd like to reassure everyone that our CS2 player, Zantares, is in great health and will be competing at PGL Bucharest 2025. We recently underwent a routine medical checkup and there's nothing to worry about. See you on the server. They played it down compared to what he says quite a lot. Like,
that's weird.
These two things don't add up with what he was saying to how, like, there's nothing to worry about. Maybe
Santaris like, I'm a walking corpse, and they're like, he went through the routine health checkup. They did this thing. They knocked on his knees to see if he had reflexes.
Thermometer in the mouth.
Back on the server. Let's go.
But they are also the team that's grinding the most. You know, like them and Mongols are saying yes to every event. They're non-stop doing it all. Like, let's see how he performs this event. Let's see if they do badly. Well, maybe he also tweets something else out. Maybe his tweet was just too much in the emotions. You know how it can be. But I will just say, like, players' health is very important. So I'll forgive him at least for those moments
But when you
because it's not
mention
on
that
one
also,
player.
it's also like it's not only like playing the game, because I can tell you having pain in your back and flying is like one of the worst things,
Yep.
because you can't sleep. You
I
can
didn't fly
only
for
sit
6
there.
months.
Yeah, it's just constant because you're like you're in like a tumbling and vibrations constantly in your back and muscles, and it's
I
just
had
not
open
pleasant.
hole surgery on my back where my spine was. Yeah, because I had like
Yeah,
a cyst that happened from when I was doing like kickboxing, and basically I just landed badly, and the cyst built up from there. And they did like an open hole surgery, and I was supposed to be on my back for like 6 months. But I know I didn't. I got up earlier than that, but I didn't fly for 6 months.
yeah.
Like that sounded like a terrible. Like even if it's a short flight, I wasn't doing it. It wasn't. It was not going to happen. Not at all. What else have we got here before we get to the grand final? Last game then, Vitality Spirit. So I honestly thought it was like quite an interesting series because Spirit pick Anubis. Everyone keeps trying to say Vitality a week on Anubis. Obviously, they made changes to CT positions on there, and it's working out very well for Vitality. And Vitality
Yeah.
now are not weak on this map. They're not weak really on any maps. They don't have a weak point. Maybe people might now say Nuke because then they lost Nuke to Spirit, but
But I think
I think.
like you look at Anubis, and
Mhm.
I think Vitality after the first half were up 9-3, and I
Yeah,
think Rops had 1 kill.
that's
A-
bro.
and you
You're
know
you're
you're in
correct.
trouble when Rops has 1 kill and you're getting smashed.
Dude, so Zontic said to me, I think it was in the interview we do between the matches. He said something like, "Oh, we had some prep specifically for them." Yeah, so like they were targeting Rops. So Rops obviously felt that punishment. You know, like
Yeah.
there was times where Rops he had a player right in front of him. He thought he was going to get the insta kill, and they just spin on him. Rops had nothing going his way. Everything he was trying, they were getting him, but it didn't matter because everything else was working. If you can win a game like that, well, let's see. What did he end his stats with on Anubis? Rops was 4-11, and they won
Yep.
13-6. Rob's is in chill
13-6.
mode. He's in chill mode. He goes, you know what, guys, you can take this one. I'll do some lifting in the final.
Yeah. I mean, I did some lifting in some other maps as well.
Yes. Oh, definitely. On that Mirage where,
Yeah.
honestly, I thought the streak was going to be broken, especially as it was the 4T rounds in a row. But they keep doing it. Zywu obviously played very well, but it was actually the Rops lurks into A site where, like,
Yeah,
no
he
one from
hid like
Spirit
default,
knew. Bro,
and it just
no
went in
one.
backfire.
And Chopper just got destroyed. And Chopper, by the way, has literally zero information that could be possible. Like, they were so unaware. Rops at that point was doing the most. I know everyone's going to look at this game and go, Zywu had a 1.70 rating. He carried. They would have not won that game without Rops with what he was doing. No way.
No.
Impossible.
And what I like about Vitality, again, I don't even know, is this possible to check? Because when I
What?
was watching this, it felt like every single time Donk was moving somewhere, Saivu was there with off. Like
Oh.
every
You
single
can look at the head
time.
to head. Wait a sec. We can look at the head to head. Are you specifically talking Mirage or just in this series?
The series in general. It felt like
Series.
Saivu was like his mission was to shut down Donk. If Donk got a kill somewhere, he's moving there, he's shutting him down or taking
I can
angles.
do it. I can do it per map in the performance tab. Let me have a look.
Yeah.
So if you look like Zywu, Chopper killed Zywu 0 times. Wait a sec. Donk killed Zywu 4 times. Zywu killed Donk 7 times.
Yeah.
I think Zywu killed Donk the most times. The most times.
Yeah. But
It was. It
Donk
was.
is not going the same place every round. It felt like they just instantly rotated Saivu on every map. It didn't matter. He was there.
By the way, do you know what's quite crazy? Donk killed Apex 6 times, but Apex killed Donk 4 times.
Yeah.
Poor
That's pretty
Messi.
good.
Don't kill Messi 7 times. Messi killed Donk 1 time. But did you see Donk's post in Telegram afterwards where he was like, I hope Valve, I don't know if he was joking or not, I don't understand his humor, but he was like, I hope Valve remove the AWP.
I mean, as a rifler, it's probably a half serious, half joke.
Yeah.
Because as a rifler, I was playing during the no slow op movement era,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I can tell you, I wanted the off gone many times. It was like, yes, I have him. Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah, GG.
I
Fast,
have an
dead,
angle against an
over.
AWP. He can just run past the angle and kill me with an AWP.
By the way, for your point, it wasn't actually so bad on the other maps, just on Mirage, it was like what you're saying.
Okay,
So
but
the rest of the time it
it
wasn't
did
too
feel
much.
like at least he was trying to shut down Donk.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Donk is a rifler who just drive peaks and AWP for no reason. Like
No, definitely not.
he's a rifler that likes to target other riflers, and
Yeah. Win the fights he knows he's going to win.
yeah. But I always feel like Vitality has had like the same with Mouse. To be fair, like they've somehow figured out how to neutralize Donk's performance somewhat. Even if you do,
Even though his rating's still great,
he's
but like
still
they,
going to
they,
have crazy ratings.
yeah,
But if you manage to do it early enough in the round, Spirit don't really have that much going for them, at least on the offense, compared to other teams. Like
yeah,
I can't say like, oh, you kill Rops and all of a sudden you win against Vitality. But in Spirit's
definitely not.
case, they're grinding rounds out where they find a solution to shut down Donk early, and it just
Yep.
feels like they win those rounds. And then Donk comes alive, kills everyone in Vitality, and Vitality find a way to stop him again. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of how I get the sense of it. And I think Vitality and Mouse they do it in a good way, and I think that's why they're finding this success against Spirit. There's probably something
But
Spirit has to work with, vice versa.
yeah, definitely. They need to look at how they can turn that around for themselves.
Yeah.
Now, getting to the grand final. Best grand final so far of 2025. I know it's not too many events to say, but we got a 5-mapper. Some of the games were not the most exciting. Some of them were super close. I think the first map was obviously 13-0 Vitality.
I
I
mean,
honestly thought it was going to be
it
3-0.
wasn't really that unexciting. If you look at the start of Inferno, I think it was like
Mirage,
three
Mirage does
1v2
too.
clutches from Vitality to get up to 6 rounds.
No, so when I say about exciting, I was more meaning like I went in the mentality the Mals might take a map. Yeah? Might take a
Okay,
map.
okay.
And when they got 13-0, I was like, best start writing my questions for another Vitality win. Like I was just sat there thinking, this is absolute GG. Because I don't care if it's not your map pick. You got 13-0 in the first map of a grand final. How are you mentally coming back from that? So again, huge props to Mouse and being able to come back into games. I said this when I was doing the interview. Spinks was out there. So like the teams go outside after the map, and Spinks was doing the most. He was talking so much to them, using his experience, trying to get the guys to forget what happened on that Inferno and saying like how good their Mirage is, how good their plan is. I didn't hear all of it because I was literally just grabbing my food. That's how I heard this conversation. But I'm
Yeah.
telling you, whatever he did, Spinks did some magic. And then on Mirage, he cooked. What did he go? He
But it's
went
also like
absolutely
just to
nuclear.
give some context before this game, Vitality had 9 maps in a row against Mouse before this final.
Yeah,
So
zero map wins. Zero map wins for
yeah,
Mouse. Even when they made it close. They made it close in group stage, right? They actually could have won. Remember that group stage game? Mouse could have won 2-0. Like the
yeah.
rounds they lost were like they lost against the 5-7 pistol round where the B stack, where they just Torsi said afterwards they read the money wrong, like just small details. So Mouse have shown consistent improvement every time they faced Vitality.
Also
They're
finding
almost
different
there.
solutions. Like it's obvious that they have to find different solutions. Looking at the games, it's obvious they study, learn from short span time, how to find solutions, and you have to Cyclone, Sipnix, Brolan, all deserve credit for that. I mean the whole team in general, but it's
I know what
good
you
to
get at.
see. It's good to see, them be- because when you saw the grand final, it felt, oh, it's just going to be a repeat kind of crushed
Yeah.
situation. And as you said, the 13-0 did not help to
I
like
was
revive
I
any
said
case for Miles.
3-1 before it started because I was like, Miles have shown improvements. Never did I expect us to get to 5 maps. Never did I think I was going to see Train. By the way, someone, please, teams, I love Train. Stop putting it as the 5th map.
We have
It's not
to
fair. Don't handshake on the 5th map. We need to bump this up. I need to
we,
be guaranteed it in a best of 5.
we can group up and kind of bully Monacy to picking Train with the G2.
We'll tell him on the next episode. Honestly, we know you like Train. We saw what you and Donk did.
But
Oh,
weren't
that's my
G2 quite
diabetic
good at
alarm.
it when I saw them play it? Or was
Define
that like
good.
super early? I can't remember when it was. I thought they played it once. I
Let's
swear
see.
I
Maps.
remember a Monacy flick on Train.
Um,
Maybe they
no,
didn't.
last time they. No, you're just thinking back to our 2v2 because they've not played it since 21.
Okay. That
You're
might be it
you're think
actually.
you're thinking back to the Donk and
Yeah.
Manassi when they were playing. Yeah, and he does enjoy it. He's actually very good at it. They knew all the little tricks, but yeah, his team don't play
I swear there was something in my brain.
it. You're right, just not his team. It
Yeah.
is G2 Manassi without the G2 team. It was him and Donk playing the Avalon Cup.
Okay.
Now you've made me forget where we. Oh yeah, that was at the train.
Mirage.
Yeah, no,
Well,
but
we are
I'm
on
just
Mirage.
we're still on Mirage. So Mirage, this was, I believe, Vitality making a comeback. I was like, they're gonna get this. You know, T-side was looking good. I thought doesn't matter what you did in the first half, Mouse, but Spinks was just going absolutely ham the whole map. Like he wasn't going down. He took the energy I saw from outside into that Mirage.
I even
It was
wrote down
perfect.
some notes on these maps for the grand final.
Okay.
So obviously Inferno is not much to
Yeah,
the thing
we
that,
can skip Inferno.
yeah, we can skip it. But I did like how they kind of like they absolutely bullied Surgeon on Banana, like with nade stacks and everything. He
Yeah.
got absolutely destroyed. Anyways, on Mirage, I think the biggest thing was, this is like a coach takeaway. It's such a coach takeaway. It doesn't really have anything to do with the
That's
game
why we have you here.
itself.
That's fine.
But what I loved about it was that essentially Mouse had a good run. So the coach refused to use his pauses. And he had 3 pauses
Ah.
left when they were 12-6 up, right? So he could
Damn.
constantly pause to try to find a solution to end the game
Yeah.
when things weren't going bad, or when things were going a little bit wrong, or kind of close to finding solutions. And
Yeah.
when I saw that they had 3 pauses left, I just felt, okay, they're gonna win this map, because with 3 pauses
Enough
you
to
should be
adjust.
able, yeah, you should be able to find the adjustment eventually, even if it is the last round,
Yeah.
uh so that's just like a cool little tidbit, because it's a tactic I've used myself. When you're in the lead, talk on their timeout,
Yeah.
so that you can dictate the pace when you need to.
You can gain control again.
Yeah, because there's no real reason to pause if you're just bombing ahead.
No, definitely not. Dust 2, by the way, was the one that they kept losing against everyone. So then they went from beating Eternal Fire to then beating Vitality. They're going to be super happy and proud of themselves. That's why Zyru was having a good game as well. But
Yeah.
it was getting revenge for that last one. It was just, they kept some of that momentum from Mirage, and they had a solid game plan, which Torsey told me afterwards was like not too much adjusted from when they last played it in groups, but it was just about doing the right things. And obviously, they had that belief after getting the win on the map.
But
They
even
didn't need
this
to
like Dust 2,
overcomplicate
it
it.
feels like both teams are in this kind of mind game period, because they played each other
Yeah.
so often now.
Yep.
that you don't see the same plays that you saw like the last time they played it, or the play before that. Because I remember like Vitality used to just Apex would rush out mid, do all these kinds of noises, and all of a sudden they're hitting short, and they're kind of doing variances of that. Of all of a sudden they're hitting B, hitting long.
Jumping into CT.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to play. Uh, it's a bunch of mind games, like Apex is like
Yeah.
stopping smokes, standing in smokes in short, and kind of discovering that it's not a hit anymore. And it's a lot of these like kind of gambly plays where they need to figure out, is this a real hit or is it a fake? And sometimes the solution is just throwing your body in there to check. And it's a fun kind of Counter-Strike game to watch right now, especially with these mind games. Been there, yourself, and trying to figure out, oh, okay, yeah, he's just doing this is a counter play, or this is like
Yeah.
something they just feel like they need to do or have seen gaps for.
But that's what's impressive about Brolan, because being such a new in-game leader, having to go through this, even with the prep being done, obviously it's him dictating what's happening when they're in the rounds,
Yeah, I mean, the
And I know
weight is
they
still on
said
his
that like,
shoulder.
oh, massively. But I know they said that Torzi will have more of a voice, Zeus will have more input. They were going to split some of the responsibilities, but it definitely is something to be proud of, even if you again did lose. Like,
Yeah, I think he's done like a tremendous job. I mean,
not many
I,
in-game leaders go fresh to be an in-game leader when you're not naturally an in-game leader and do all this. No, it
no,
doesn't happen.
there's obviously, I still think that you can see there's some flaws. There's obviously like some things like you see good support from like Cyclone. He was talking to him in the middle of the final, where you could see like they're obviously changing something up, or maybe like asking Brolan to do something a bit more or less. I don't know exactly what their conversation was, but it looked like they're having a great conversation where it's just like for helping each other out, right?
Yeah,
Um, so I think they've done a good job in trusting Brolan, and I think the more experience he'll get, he'll understand what he can do differently, and he'll kind of garner more confidence, making his own kind of cemented calls, and have more authority with it, which is important. One of the things is like you've played with in-game leaders who, if they're not confident in the call, you don't become confident either. So that's a big thing as
no.
well. Like just how you use your voice as you make the call has a huge impact on the team. So stuff like that, I think he's going to grow into a great in-game leader if it continues like this.
And I think Cyclone's a perfect person to help him with all of this as well.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
proven it with the young in-game leaders from all the way from the academy leagues till now. If you look at the last two maps, right? I don't want to just focus on the scoreline, because I feel like Nuke felt like they didn't have a chance, and Train felt like they ran out of energy. I wouldn't say that like Train was bad, but it felt like Brolander said him to himself in the loser interview. He said like he took so much of it on him, especially for that Train. But it was like Nuke, Vitality slipped up a couple of times where teams have been able to challenge him on it. Obviously Spirit beat him on it, and then
I mean,
Mongols
if
beat
you,
him on it, didn't they?
I think both on the CT side and T side of Train, I honestly believe you can see the confidence level is different on the two teams. Like
Yeah.
on CT sides of Mouse, there were scrambling rounds. It felt like, Vitality hit really good. They got picks through pop. They got picks in main. They got all this stuff, and it felt like Vitality had so much control. Whenever Mouse went out T side, T main, there's 3, 4 players mid yard just tapping them away straight into main. They got no space to move around. I don't ever think I saw Mouse really do like a pop main split with flashes like Vitality did. They were super
Mm-hmm.
patient with like, I remember how like they were taking pop like siuhy was close to the wall when mouse players had boosted above that window, they were just
Yep.
sitting there waiting for inner push, waiting for pop push, waiting for inner push, waiting for pop push, and constantly, kind of just slowing things down, and then just made a perfect split. siuhy gets an entry, and then all of a sudden, once everyone's ready, just converge onto that A side at the same time. And at that point, the CTs lost too many people. Well, I think there was a little bit more stress in obviously Mouse's kind of T side, where it was a bit disjointed. They didn't really get into positions before they went out. It was kind of like one side went out and the other side had to scramble.
Yeah.
Um, so it's, but it's a hard map to call. I think you need a lot more set things,
Yeah.
and
And the
especially when
experience
you,
is definitely going to help.
yeah. So they're probably gonna figure out some stuff where they know when it becomes awkward for CTs, because it dictates a lot of things of why you rotate and when you rotate on maps. It's just, when does it get awkward? It's like, you can take Dust 2 as an example. When you don't have any more information on mid as CT, it gets pretty awkward. It feels like you
Yeah.
have to fight short, and if you can't fight short and you can't fight mid, it gets even more awkward if you don't get the information there. And I think train, it's not really there yet, where people completely understand when things get awkward.
Do you know what's kind of sad for Mouse as well? On both Nuke and Train, they won both pistols, and they still end with
Yeah,
13-7 scorelines.
but I do think
That
that's one of
hurts.
the gut punches. Like, you get hit in the guts. You on that second, like, you play 5 maps of Counter Strike. That's exhausting.
Yeah.
First of all, it's
Yeah.
super exhausting, and you go into half, you're down. You feel like, oh shit, we need this pistol, boys. Fuck yes, we got it. And then just drop the ball instantly. It's just like, oh, you probably like use the last portion of energy you got celebrating the pistol win, and then you got slapped straight down to the floor and you can't get back up.
It hurts. It really hurts.
Yeah, it
But
does.
Vitality taking it continues to have their reign of dominance. 3 grand finals, 3 trophies now for them. Cado, EPL, and here now at Blast Open Lisbon. Another MVP for zeus. He's now trying to catch up on. I love, by the way, where's the zeus interview? I just want to read one quote from this.
While
So,
you find it, I do want to say, I think I mentioned after Kato that I think this is like a Vitality era coming.
oh yeah, now I even said it on my opening when I closed for the whole thing, and
Yeah.
I did they lifted the trophy. I was like, this is looking like the start of an era or something like that. I
Yeah,
said,
100%. Like, it's because yeah, I don't even know how to express all of the things they do when you watch it, because it's just,
no,
I like to take Dust 2 as an example. Maybe the new people don't really want that map as an example, but I love it because it's like, how CT can just aggress on mid on Dust 2. Like, you play a Face It and people just rush up mid, go into lower, constantly a threat, constantly
yep,
annoying in these parts. You just see, like, one of the first gun rounds Vitality do almost every time. It's just like, they take Dark slowly, they smoke Xbox, they double molly lower, just hold, and it's just done. That round, just doing it once, it just makes it so every single time you push lower, it's a complete fucking gamble if they do that
yeah,
double molly play or not. It
yep,
just makes you feel unsafe there.
yeah. You got the fear in them.
Yeah, and it also means that if they see them go lower, they can automatically switch into this double molly play and just completely clean them out in lower. So you don't have that option anymore, because they've already set that kind of foundation where, like, yeah, come in. We're
Testing you
gonna
to
we're
it.
gonna
Yeah, yeah.
screw you if you come. And
Uh,
it's just, even if you don't see it 10 rounds, they don't do it every round. Just set the example. Like,
no,
look, if you come, this is what happens.
we're
And
ready for it.
yeah, and it makes it's just a great way, to kind of set tone in a Counter-Strike match.
So I found this bit right, and this is what I want to talk about with zeus, because
Yeah.
Simple is my goat. I love the guy, right? He's a good friend of mine. I got a lot of time and love for him, but this is now getting where we're going into the whole zeus generation because Simple's not playing at this level, right? And I'm starting to see not more ego because zeus is so humble, but I'm starting to see more of what I've been wanting to see from zeus for years, and that's more big balls. Like he's throwing his balls on the fucking table and he's saying like, "I'm here to take over." And I think no matter what he says in interviews, he was hurt with Donk winning last year, and him having his worst year that he'd ever had. Third place, by the way, for a top 20 player of the year, is his worst year ever in his career. That just goes to show what kind of level we're dealing with. So in this interview on HLTV, done by Mirror,
Is
Portuguese
this
guy,
like
he's
the
old
online
school.
era thing?
Yeah, so he says, well, the Mirror asked him, we're now 3 months into the year and you've already got 3 medals. That's more than you got last year. That's half your personal best in a single year. So his best was ever 6, right? Do you think this can be your best year in terms of performance and individual awards? He says, yeah. zeus says, yeah, if I keep going with the team and individually, I can do even better than 2023. I guess that was the year I did the best. And Mira corrected him and went, it was 2020, the online year. He goes, it was online? Fuck's sake. I will beat it this year then because fuck online. Because everyone keeps holding it against zeus that a lot of his MVPs came from the online COVID era, right?
Yeah.
And then zeus says, but yeah, obviously if I keep growing like this, if the team keeps playing like this, then obviously I can beat my record. I have no stress. The time is coming and I know we're going to win some tournaments if we keep playing like this. Trophies will come, MVPs will come, and we're going to enjoy. Now, let me just say this. I asked him, do you think you are in your career ever best shape? And he said, yes, I think so. That's a statement. That is where he's looking to take over. He's got the right team. They got the right pieces.
Yeah.
Apex is not just calling out of his mind, but he's also playing better as well. It's so in their hands right now to get the Grand Slam that he's missing. Yeah. He got Katowice that he was missing. He got Cologne last year. Like, this is crazy.
And I mean,
this is so good.
It is crazy also because, I mean, you could hype up the ROPS move and say like they're gonna compete with Spirit at the beginning of the year, right?
Yeah.
But to see like them being so much better, because they are so much better than Spirit, Navi, Mouse at this point. Mouse is getting closer, but they're nowhere near the level that Vitality is right now.
No.
And
Oh no.
it's one of those things where you just look at it and you can't even imagine a world where they're not the absolute favorites to win the major. Like by 60, 70, 80% of the votes,
Yeah. Well, that's it for Blast Open.
Yeah.
Next, we got to go on to our favorite time. It's roster news. Yes,
Roster
more
news.
changes. I need to make like a jingle or something for that. We'll start with one. This is one I'm so excited about, right? It was on the 27th of March.
Should we say what it said on, or which one are you the most excited about?
I'm on about the siuhy one.
Okay.
What were you gonna go for?
I thought you were going to the Jambo
Don't
one.
say it. Yeah. We'll come to that afterwards. Because no. So on the 27th of March, there was news that Liquid were going to go for siuhy, and then he gets announced just today. I've seen him already down in the lobby. I'll just tell you this. I asked him, have you been chilling during your time off? Because he got benched by Mouse one event into the season, which means no other teams are going to pick him up at that point, But the great news for him is that he just said, I've been grinding face it. He didn't take his foot off the gas. He stayed individually sharp and ready to play. And remember, this was the guy last year who was like the most hyped up in-game leader of like, people were saying FaZe should take him when Carrigan retires.
Like G2 should take him.
Yeah, G2 should take him. All these people were saying they should take him, right? Now, it is, for me, a hugely good move because you're putting a natural IGL who's been doing IGL things into the team, and Liquid certainly needs some help. what I'm going to say is genius again from Mouse and kind of good for Liquid is it's a loan. Now, if people don't know, because I tweeted this and it seems like some people were not aware, when siuhy was on Mouse and they put him on loan to Gamer Legion, it wasn't a siuhy is on Gamer Legion. It was a loan there as well when he got second place at the Paris Major. Obviously, they lost to Vitality in that one, but that was the big breakout for siuhy, right?
Yeah.
So he's on loan now, which he can test if he likes Liquid as an organization, if he likes the players. They're going to do Bucharest and they're going to go to the Austin Major with him. He's got another chance of doing this. He's with another Polish guy, Ultimate, in there as well. He's got some very capable players like Nertz and Twist now. I saw Twist outside and I said to him, oh, by the way, I don't know if this is going to be a troll or what, but I said, are we getting Twist back in star roles? And he was like, hell yeah. And I'm thinking, okay, that gets me excited because that's what I want to see Russ at his best, not having to think about all this stuff, you know? The only thing I don't like about this whole Liquid siuhy moment is that I can't say anything bad about Jay Demars DeRover Lee. What a name, by the way. Fucking epic in-game name. Demars DeRover. If I'm going to interview you, I'm going to be like, I'm with my man Demars DeRover. Talk to me. That's how I'm going to hit him with this. But he's an interim coach. That's the only thing I'm not happy about because that means siuhy doesn't have someone super experienced alongside him as the coach, you know, to work with him and to prep the game plans and be ready. I would like, maybe Jay will surprise me. Maybe he's amazing. But I mean, we see Jay a lot out there. He's always working hard doing the analyst stuff previously. Yeah. But I mean, this is my only concern with it. But I do think that this is a positive move for Liquid, also a positive move for NAF. I'm sorry, JKS. You probably went because you and NAF, very similar style of players. We've talked about it on the podcast. Many other people have talked about it. But also, NAF has been a legacy player for Liquid for, God, how many years now? I don't even know. Keith feels like he's been at Liquid for his... He's been there since 2018.
I think it's just like it's not even about JKS being bad. It really isn't. I think it's just unlocking twists and unfortunately the most sensible choice is to bench JKS.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, and I also am excited but I'm wondering also. I have a little bit of a question mark because I'm I've been in IGL mode,
Yeah.
I want to see how fast can twists move out of it.
Oh, I hope so quickly
because you know what I mean.
I'm
like
gonna
maybe
look,
he's
I'm gonna
a
look
little
at
bit stuck in it. Maybe he tries to help siuhy too much. Like
Oh no, he can't. If you look at the way siuhy was a leader, yeah, he was leading by the front. I don't think he's going to even allow it. It's going to have to be like.
Well, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it because I'm not 100% sure you can just all of a sudden just snap out of it. Go into Santoris walking zombie mode and play Counter-Strike.
So you have this concern. My only concern was that siuhy now goes into a team with like Twist, Naf, who are super experienced. Nertz has got his own pretty good career as well behind him. I need everyone on this team to respect him and listen to him. Yeah. We can't have any of this like not following what he says, not believing in his calls.
So do you know like how long have Liquid been in contact? Does he know the strats? Have you had input? Have they practiced
I've got
together?
media day tomorrow. And I'm going to get as much info as possible.
Because obviously all of a sudden they sign him and he jumps in, it's taking over. That's going to be a mess.
And there's only so much he can change.
Yeah,
but they're just going to do a lot of testing here, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and it's also like he doesn't know his pieces, and all of a sudden there's a completely different style. It might just work out great, but at the end of the day, he's not going to have those kind of comfort calls. It's going to be a little bit more mixy if he gets into comfort calling.
I hope he's had at least 2-3 weeks at the minimum. That would be okay. That can work.
Yeah, that can work.
But if it's just a week
going to be
or
messy.
like a few days,
But yeah, I mean, I think this move is, I mean, overall it's a brilliant move. I think it's
Yeah,
probably the best thing that Liquid can do on the market. And you know, Twist unlocking, siuhy getting in there, fragging as well, changing some stuff up. Exactly what Liquid need right now. Because looking
definitely.
on paper, they can definitely be like a contender team. They can be there with the, getting the occasional playoff spot and maybe getting a semi-final. I'm not sure they're in a winning events kind of deal because they get siuhy, but
Yeah,
they definitely have potential to grow into it. But it's probably not going to be this part of the year, if we put it
yeah.
that way.
By the way, we're now going to come on to the one that I love the most here. My favorite roster move of this roster news moment from the podcast is Fnatic replace Bermilov with Jambo. Now, I'm just going to say, if we rewind to, I think, our very first episode, I was like, what are Fnatic doing? They just need to get Fear and Jambo and everything will be fine. Yeah? Now,
And in our document, all it says is Banks was right. Written by Banks.
I spoke about myself in the third person because I will gloat on this one because I'm genuinely pissed. I'm honestly pissed about this whole situation. So someone tried to reason with me. I'm not going to name who this person was, but he's pretty reasonable, high profile person, active in counts right now. He tried to say Passion couldn't get rid of Fear and Jambo because obviously SGLO was going out of the team, and that means they lose their spots. Yeah, but they didn't have any spots or invites for big events anyway, so it didn't matter. Like they wouldn't have kept him. After the Shanghai Major, they went up high up on the pecking order. They did well. They got through. They were getting invites to maybe CCT if they really care so much about that. But I think Fnatic would have paid more for Jambo. Yeah. And also they made Ashila come back anyway. So I don't believe that it was a VRS thing that took this long. I just believe Fnatic didn't listen to Fear. I reckon they didn't listen to their brains, whoever was in deciding of this. I don't know who sold them Bermilov of like he was the next great thing, but when you could have had Jambo and Fear together, I just feel like you wasted everyone's time. So you've got Crims, Blamef, Matties, yeah? Like you wasted everyone's time by not signing him and making them suffer with Bermilov. Nothing against you, Bermilov, but
It
like,
just sounds so bad towards him.
no. I'm just
Suffer with
saying,
Bermilov.
it's like, this wasn't the right move to make from the beginning. You gave him hope and you wanted to try him out. Yeah, he came from Mouse, did he? Did he come from Mouse? Let me get
Is it
this right.
Mouse
Did he come from
NXT or?
Yeah, he came from Mouse NXT. He had a year on Mouse NXT. Obviously, Mouse are happy. They sold another player. They continue to do well with all of their academy players. But it's like the move of Bermilov with Fear to Fnatic made no sense. Jambo and Fear would have always made sense. And obviously, I've heard through the grapevine that Fnatic are having money struggles at the moment. The organization's not doing so great, right? It's kind of showing. It's kind of showing. And then also we've got the other news here that isn't official anyway, but there's just rumors that like Crims could be out. I also said Crims will probably be the next one out, I love Crims. I think I absolutely love him. But he's not the same player he was. You can get some of these younger player talents coming in as well. Maybe that's the direction they go here. Maybe they grab another Ukrainian to have a Ukrainian core. But like Blame F right now is the star of that team. Jambo can finally give him some great backup.
Yeah, I
This
mean
makes at least I'm
they've
excited
kind
for
of
Fnatic.
they've kind of failed with a lot of. They're kind of in a similar kind of pathway of NIP in some sense. Like they've constantly failed to kind of rebuild that roster for a long
Yeah.
time and let go of big stars like Brolan, for example. Uh,
They avoid the same criticism as Nip though, right?
yes, but
Like
they've
this
kind
is
of
this is
made the
what's
same
crazy.
choices.
Yeah. So I think I agree with you. They're both equally terrible at the decision making and choices they've made. Yeah. Both Nip and Fnatic. But Nip just catch more L's because of the way they conduct themselves on these videos and their recruitment videos and they're overhyping things. Fnatic don't really hype anything up. No one expects something amazing, but you just see the name value. But like, look at this. Fnatic's had Body, they had Nork. Like, both Body and Nork have gone on to other teams to perform better.
Yep.
Literally have improved since leaving Fnatic. Kyubi, yeah, I definitely think he's improved since going. He got acquired by Big. Maybe Bermalov will actually get better when he leaves Fnatic. Maybe that will happen. I don't know. But like, I'm just happy Jambo's there. Jambo and Fear being reunited is good.
Yeah.
But there's still one roster move if it's Crims or something else in order to find success with this, because it's still like, it's not a good look for the Fnatic organization. They're so far away from being a team you even want to consider being able to compete at majors.
No, and I mean, even these guys had a game against each other, 2 games against each other. They played against each other in the Astana qualifier twice.
What, Fnatic and Nip?
Yeah, Fnatic won 1, and then Nip won 1.
Was that with Jambo playing?
Yes.
Mm,
So there are some material out
okay.
there.
Okay.
They lost the Group D final, where winner advances to playoff. Fnatic lost against NIP.
Oof.
60 or 13 is the number we use right now. 13-9 and 13-8.
Forgetting which version of Counter Strike we're in
Yeah.
right now. Honestly, from Fnatic being confusing, we already know the Nip situation. Passion UA, just sticking with the Ukrainians here, it's even more confusing because this, I don't even know how to put this in the context.
This is like
Kane,
Devil Walk joining Bad News Eagles.
yeah, but even more crazy because there's no one singular common language. All of the B&E boys could speak capable good English. Yeah.
That's true.
That's fine. And you can speak more than capable good English. Kane's leaving Passion UA, and it says, citing the VRS as one of the reasons. This is on his Telegram. The only thing I regret is leaving the team at such a difficult time. I realized that our results were not very good. We fell down a lot in the VRS, which I mentioned, but I hope that the guys do well. And then Zeus added some context on his Telegram. Zeus, obviously the Navi legend. Kane was his coach for a long time. He said, I talked to Misha, that's Kane. It was a surprise for him too. He was not warned beforehand without any negativity towards the manager, but it is, to put it mildly, a very strange decision, if not worse from every angle. It does look that way, because what I'm about to tell you is TC, the complexity coach, joins Passion. The South African, very English speaking, unless this dude has just lied to me his whole time we've ever met and he speaks no Ukrainian or Russian, I don't know what the hell is going on. Now, I know the Passion UA boys, some of them can speak okay English, but it's like, you're going to go this level? This is wild.
It's a bit of a, I don't know what you call it, like out of left field.
Yeah, just a
It's
bit.
very, very surprising. I mean, TC, I've talked to him. I don't know how he's in a team, but I'm sure he's super capable coach. Been coaching for
I'm
a
not worried
long
about his
time.
coaching.
But it is a tremendous challenge as a coach to understand what's going on the server. Firstly, I remember even when I joined B&E boys, I mean, I always said it's better that you guys speak the like your common tongue, or
Mm-hmm.
and I try to pick up words that I think are important. So this is probably more like a tip for TC. You just write down the most. I wrote down the most important word in Counter-Strike in communication, right? So it would be
Yeah.
like middle, B, or behind, watch out, or these kinds of things. So I knew them in Albanian. I still don't know
Okay.
them in my head. It's like
Yeah.
Rio is like, be careful. So you could say like, Rio Mass would be like, watch out, behind or something.
Yeah.
Um, and just being able to pick that up, because then you can kind of, your brain kind of guesstimates the rest of the communication, if it was good, if it's, broke down somewhere. Because if you don't hear that and something along those lines, happen that you're scared of, something went wrong, right? uh,
Yeah.
Even though you don't know exactly what they're saying.
It'll be interesting to see how it works out. Maybe it's just a short thing. Maybe they're trying to change something up. Maybe their plan is to, I don't know, go international if they can't find any. Because obviously the hard thing is with the Ukrainian players is Ukrainian players who can actually leave the country. You've also got that thing to deal with. But they do replace Jambo with Woro 2K. This is where I'm not going to say it's a bad move, but I want to know if Woro will be the leader. Because he had his stint in Monty leading, right? If he's the leader, I'm not so excited because he won't have the same dominant impact I would want him to have as an AWPer. Maybe he can do it. As far as I understood it, Topper was the one who should be in game leading.
Okay.
I'd like if it stayed with him.
Yeah.
Because I believe Topper was in game leading back when it was the mixed. What team was Topper on before as well? Ikla. I'm trying to see.
But I also think like Vor is the type of guy that if he wants to call, he's just gonna call straight out. Make a call.
Yep.
And if he feels like it, take over.
Do you think so? From the inside, he'll try and take over it. Dude, it's so funny. So. You've got Woro, Kvem, Topper, Zero Fix, Jacasmo. By the way, Jacasmo I think is a player like next to go good. Like there's a lot of potential for him. But then TC's just this is so strange. Yeah, I think Jacasmo's got a good future, man. I think he's got a very good future. But also, I'll say Passion as an organization, they must be making money. You sold Jambo and Fear now to Fnatic, even though Fnatic have got financial problems. You made some good money and you made the major. Can't go wrong with that. Cannot go wrong with that at all.
It's going to be interesting to see them in action when Voro and TC kind of kicks in.
It's still so baffling. We'll wait and see. We'll keep everyone updated as we go through it all. Next one is not so much of a nice one, but it's a Swedish person, so I had to bring it up for you.
Yeah.
Disciplinary action. Public statement. ESIC, the most useless thing I've ever seen in my life. I despise what ESIC are because it says like Esports Integrity Commission, but honestly, 9 times out of 10, they don't do much good. This does seem like something they've done good on though, and I'll read this out for you all. ESIC issues a formal rejection order against professional Counter-Strike player Joel for multiple serious breaches of the ESIC Code of Conduct and Anti-Corruption Code. Given the seriousness and sustained nature of Mr. Holland's thank you very much. That's why you're here, Devil. Breaches, ESIC has imposed a lifetime ban effective immediately. It's crazy. And also, I love this. I know this guy, Kevin Hitt. He says, I think you should be required to have a web page listing every investigation you've done, including a quick abstract, the amount of time taken to investigate and the outcome. Because a lot of the shit that I see from ESIC, I just think it's a bunch of waffle. Like sometimes people who definitely should have been committed to have done wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just like, we couldn't find enough information. It's like, fucking hell, there's plenty of journalists out there, very credible journalists who have found this information. You guys can't. I'm just not a fan of ESIC in general.
But essentially what happened with Joel was he found like a premium hardware cheat, which
that's in your PC, right?
Yeah, on his PC, which included
Jesus Christ.
cheats which included aimbot, triggerbot, and ESP features. I don't even know what ESP is, but
ESP. What he said, I remember that ESP feature. ESP.
But that was essentially, found. Obviously, that's bad.
Extrasensory perception cheats are a form of cheats most commonly seen in online PvP games. They are used to see various bits of information about objects in the game or world, even if you cannot visibly see them. So I guess like seeing through the wall.
Oh, okay. So yeah, wall hack.
I guess there's some sort of wall hack, yeah.
And Isik revealed that
as if he
Joel
was doing this.
admitted to the misconduct when he responded to the charge in writing. It explained that at Joel's request, it delayed issuing the statement related to this infraction in order to facilitate his transition into alternative employment.
What do you mean? If you cheated, why are they trying to, so wait a second, you're telling me he wanted to delay it so that
he could
try and get hired some more?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know if that means in esports. I assume it's in esports, or
surely though, Isik would have just been like, no, suck your mum, we're not doing that. And
so,
you can.
There's even more to this.
Oh God.
So, however, following the expiration of the grace period that the Isik.
By the way, I'm just gonna say, I'm glad I didn't read this before because this is just gonna make me more and more tilted.
Yeah. So Mr. Holmond issued a threat to blackmail Isik with fabricated allegations in response to Isik's intention to make the matter public. An act that Isik considers to be an egregious breach of its integrity program.
How much drugs do you think he consumed before trying to blackmail them? Like, I don't want to laugh at anyone's misfortune at being at rock bottom, but like, you already been found out and then you try to blackmail them. The last thing you want to do to someone investigating you is try blackmail them. This isn't some mafia shit, you know, where you say like, I've got this over you and like, I don't think that's how this works.
It's such a weird...
Read that to me again, the blackmail bit. Where are you reading this? I need to read this as well.
This is on HLTV news post.
All right, let me find out.
However, following the expiration of his grace period, Mr. Holmond issued a threat to blackmail Isik with fabricated allegations in response to Isik's intentions to make the matter public. An act Isik considers to be egregious breach of its integrity program.
Bloody hell.
There's even more, man. Like, it's also, all about the repeat offender when he was in Godsent.
He also was betting on his own games that he was throwing, right?
He was betting on, I think he bet 2 bets against his own team and betted on 17 bets on various matches. But that time...
And he was cheating in these games so he could really determine everything.
Well, we don't know about that. This is previous breach, but one could definitely assume that he was.
Okay, you're being very nice. I just mean he's been found with hardware cheats. I've seen some of his ratings.
But this is the repeat he did, like, when was this? 2023.
Why would he not be cheating then?
Yeah, there's no reason to think that, but
bro,
I'm just acting like a court of law here, like I'm a lawyer, you know, like...
If he's trying to threaten them, yeah, I'm 100% sure he was cheating in most of his pro matches. Like, was there... I never actually saw anything about him where other pro players were like, he's cheating. Like, I don't remember him being a face it gremlin where people are like, this guy's cheating. He's suspicious.
I think in the beginning, like in the Swedish scene, people were saying he's like the next big thing. And some people were saying that, yeah, he's weird.
He could be dodgy.
Yeah. But
they said that about Rops as well, right?
Yeah, but it's it's like the common ladder towards being a good player in Counter-Strike. Is this like...
So you're going through a rite of passage?
Yeah, it's like, you've now been, I don't know, confirmed a Counter-Strike player or something.
Bro, I can't believe... I'm just reading it again now because I'm on the HLTV news post, which included aimbot, trigger bot, and ESP features. The crack he was consuming to think he could play at this level, yeah, is unreal. And by the way, if you're cheating and when I go onto your HLTV page, it says an average rating of 1.09, you are a dumb cunt. Like, you are not cheating good either. Like, you were a miserable cheat. I guess you were
But
trying to hide it as well.
there were even rumors. I remember even in the Swedish scene, right? He was up and coming, and he's been like, I think like a massive like gambler on like betting sites and stuff like that with skins, borrowing money from people. So he got into a lot of trouble. There was like rumors going around in the Swedish scene. He was owing people like millions of Swedish crowns, and he just vanished.
How much is a million Swedish crowns?
So that's like $100,000
or
euros.
Who's giving him this money?
So he was like in big trouble, and he just vanished for a while in the Swedish scene. No one had seen him for like months. When he was playing like one of the top Swedish teams at least, or at least competing on that level. And then he just randomly came back, right? And I think
did he pay the money back? Do we know?
He's probably like, if you tie it all together, what it looks like. I'm not saying this is how it is, but what it looks like is that he's owed money. He's come back to Counter-Strike. He's trying to
saw these hardware cheats he get from some Russian hacker
to pay what he owes people, right?
Okay, just give me some understanding.
That's a good moral story of it.
No,
it looks like
you've just given him this get out of jail, not even a get out of jail free card because he's forever in jail. It's a lifetime ban. But you have given him a way out now where he can be like, the Swedish mafia, they were going to break my legs and kill my family if I didn't pay the money back, so I cheated. It's fine because I was trying to save my people. You've just helped him. You've literally just given him some out, which he's obviously not smart enough to think about himself. So you've just given him.
It's a weird thing with me. I always think like the most positive direction a person could take,
Yeah, but so I'll touch on this.
I would say, I think he's an absolute moron and an asshole for doing this. It's absolutely disgusting.
You even try to say like, oh, he was gambling, blah blah blah. Like, I don't gamble on CS because I work the events, right? Anyone can check all the things I'm registered to. Yeah, we're not allowed to. But bloody hell, I do boxing betting all the time. I love boxing, right? I do football betting sometimes, occasionally. Like I'm a Man United fan. It's not positive right now. I can bet on us losing. I can definitely bet on us losing. Yeah. But I mean, there also comes a point where I will say that if you're racking up that much, or you need to borrow from someone, my advice to everyone, because obviously esports is played with gambling and betting and the skin gambling, right? Just always. And I'm someone who's sponsored by these companies, right? I work with these companies. They're at every event. But like, if you see a friend or someone who's asking you for money like that, have an intervention, help them out. Because some people are more likely to be addicted and get onto these things and it end really badly. But it's like, help the people out around you.
What is it called? Like you're enabling them? You're enabling their addiction?
Yeah, exactly. And that, I'm not trying to give this guy a way out. By the way, I'm scrolling through his match pages at the moment. I'd like to see what games he's played. Like, this is actually crazy. He potentially did this for years.
Yeah.
From 2020 to 2020. When did he play in 2025 or not? How do I get back here?
Yeah, I don't think he's played in 2025. I think since he got banned
by Atros. It's basically 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 years, right? He could have been cheating and doing all this stuff.
Which, I mean, fair assumption to make that he was.
Yeah. And also, like, you're from Sweden. You don't need to do this. I can't see it. I can't see it. I can't believe what we just read. This story went way further than what I thought. On our little notes here, it just said Joel handed lifetime ban by ESIC for multiple serious breaches of the ESIC code of conduct.
The HLTV post beforehand.
Nope. This was all eye-opening for me. You got an authentic reaction. There you go. In a post on X in November 2023, when the length of his suspension was announced, Joel admitting to battling a gambling addiction. He also said that he had been constantly the target of false accusations, libel, and slander throughout his career. Well, I don't think it's slander.
Did you see the tweet people are putting up like this or like this aged like fine milk or something?
Oh, I saw Richard Lewis retweeted it. Of course, Richard would retweet it.
I think it's on the Reddit. as well.
Let me go. I know Richard posted it. Richard tweets a lot, so hopefully it's not too far down.
Because that will make you...
Yeah, here we go. They don't hate the good ones, they hate the great ones. Kobe Bryant. It's easy to win because most motherfuckers are weak. Dave Goggins. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Martin Luther King Jr. Motherfucker, how are you comparing yourself to them when
You're
you know you were
quoting
cheating throughout
Martin
all
Luther
of this?
King, man.
Bruh. Oh, good riddance to this guy, man. Has he tweeted anything? Please say he's tweeted something.
Oh, I have not.
If I was him, I would just retweet the. No, he's not tweeted on anything. I would just retweet the e-sig ban and just go, like
just own it.
Yeah, bro. Well, what? Take it this way, right? If there's anything credible as to him not doing what they're saying he's done, then you just get a lawyer and fight it.
But
yeah.
Yeah. But it's also like, what did he threaten to blackmail with? This is what I want to know.
His mafia friend. No, I'm not gonna do it. His mafia friends found some pictures of the guy who runs e-sig.
Yeah, that's what the
said,
first
I will
thing that
send
came
them
up
to
in
your
my head.
wife. I don't know, man.
I have hired a private investigator.
Oh,
do you want his pictures to come out?
Oh my god. Yeah, this is crazy. Well, unlucky Joe. Anyone who has the gambling addiction bit is the sad part, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you should get help. Your friend should help you with that. That is, but the cheating, I cannot you have now given him an out with this whole mafia thing we're putting together. I don't believe Sweden has mafia. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean,
hey,
whatever.
We're topping the charts for pistol deaths and bombings and
yeah,
stuff
your country's gone massively downhill.
Yeah, don't call us no mafia countries. We have plenty of it.
Okay, it's got so bad that you are potentially a mafia country. But I mean, yeah, if your friends have problems with gambling, don't enable them. Help them. If you're really a friend of them, you look out for them. That is very serious. The cheating and the amount of cheating he did, and then he tried to blackmail and investigate. By the way, don't try blackmail the police. Don't try blackmail people investigating you. Sometimes you have to take the L. It's just the way it goes. Bloody hell. Do you know what? We will spin this into the opposite of Joel's lifetime ban. We'll look at a lifetime career or potentially lifetime careers in Heroic Academy. The only reason I want to touch on this is just because obviously we play Academy League, which something I was heavily involved in from when it first started and helped putting it together when I was living in Kiev.
Yep.
More Academy teams are not so much appearing because obviously that system doesn't exist anymore. It's a sad state because I think it's something that's sorely missed. I would love for it to start back up again, but it is good to see some teams and some organizations putting their money in and saying, I do want an academy team. I do want to try and make this work. There is only two interesting names on this team. So there's Stomak, Ukrainian guy, 17. At least I heard of his name. Who was the other one? Oh, FNL, but where did he come from before? I think the only reason I know him is maybe because he was on a team. Let's have a look. He was on Monty Academy and Navi Junior.
Okay.
So, but obviously he's come out of those teams and now he's on another academy team. So, Doto's the coach.
Yep.
That's cool. But I just want to highlight the fact that this is a good sign. We want organizations picking up academy teams. I would just say the way we did it in the Academy League was we told them they could have one player, not the coach, one player who can be older than 21, then everyone else had to be younger. I think that's the way to go with Academy Leagues and Academy teams. Start them as young as possible, get some of these talents. Like when they're a bit older than that, it's not like they can't grow into being a good player. But I mean, an academy should be nurturing them from legal young ages, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, but also the one thing that's interesting with it as well is obviously Dota and SO connection.
Yes.
In the same
on the Finnish
team.
side.
Yeah. So there's some they're obviously going to be good friends. They're going to be able to talk to each
Yep.
other. They're probably going to be able to potentially even develop, Heroic Academy in the same way that kind of Navi and Navi Junior has done it in the past, right? Where you kind of prepare them into moving
Yeah.
into a main team because of that kind of connection where hopefully the coaches are going to work a little bit close together, obviously not all the time, but at least have kind of a goal to head towards and some direction.
Yeah, I think it's hugely important. I want to see more of it. I think so many organizations would benefit from having it. It's such a key thing these days.
Yeah.
Really needed. So yeah, props to Heroic for that. I'm just a fan of it. We're gonna go back to Nipper in the end of all of this. This is what's crazy. We're gonna talk more Nip stuff. Nip end hunt for first land with PGL Astana qualification. They are going to a 1.25 million event. They had to go through crazy qualifiers to get this one done. And obviously, it's been very tough for this team. People might forget who's on this team, but it's Shush, Snappy, Aradose, Wrinkle, Ujerks. They finally done it. And they've been grinding. They've been playing so many games. This obviously helps them out in their world ranking as well. This makes things so much better for them. They started in a open qualifier, by the way.
Yeah.
They lost the first open qualifier to a team called Benched, 13-11. And then they fought their way through the second open qualifier and got a spot. They beat Passion UA in the closed qualifier. They beat Jano. They lost to Fnatic. They beat Amcal. They beat Fnatic. They beat Bait. And they beat Metasport in the fight. This must be, after the year they've had, that must feel so good. I will give them some props for that grind.
Yeah, I mean, eventually you have to taste, kind of the fruits of the work you've put in, because
Yeah.
I think this will be a huge boost for them. I'm
Before all
sure
hope is
they're
lost.
yeah, because if they just keep grinding in the same kind of space, keep losing qualifiers, and essentially,
Yeah.
you get to a point where you just say like, we have to call this team, like this is not working out, obviously, like because you get depressed when you get to that point, but they
Well, also, I
finally
was
broke
worried
through
about
it.
what was going to happen. I was worried what was going to happen to Wrinkle. Wrinkle was like one of the most
Yeah.
promising Ukrainian AWPers coming up. And now it's all about Jambo. People are even picking Bermalov up there. Wrinkle is just like kind of faded off in a big way. So like this is where he gets a chance to show himself again.
Yeah.
What's his ratings like from event to events? He's still averaging a 1.14.
But I
But
still have to
he's
say, like, when
still
you look at the team, it just looks so weird. Don't you
what with two
agree?
Portuguese, two Danes, and a Ukrainian.
Isn't that the weirdest?
It is kind of strange, not gonna lie. It's the fact that like Snappy, by the way, still I respect Snappy as a dad, still going for it, being kicked out of teams, pushed aside, screwed over in Falcons, where he wasn't. I don't think he was the problem. I think it was just a difference in styles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. And Shush, by the way, went from the very pinnacle of Danish CS to now being on NIP and fighting in these open qual. He's having a whole humbling experience, and he's obviously taking it on the chin pretty well. I don't know if anyone has a video footage of it, but I hope that video footage is them super fucking hyped and funny. Like they're just loving life now they get done that.
Yeah, I mean, this is when the work begins. They have to come in there. They're ready for it. It's quite a long time away, isn't it? So it
Yeah,
starts. To, when does this start?
May.
10th of May.
Yep.
So they do have like a month where they can just like, and I hope they do see it this way. This is our shot. Like we have to do well on this
Yep.
tournament. Kind of rocket through the rankings if they do well. Get like a pass a group stage or whatever. Has to be the aim. They have to put in the work right now. They already know all the teams that's going to be there. Prep work has
Yep.
to start now, 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 now. Like, and I'm sure they're all excited. I hope every player takes part of it, and they're just super ready. Like, with the experience, also, they know how much this means, and how much this could elevate their team, and the future. Could decide everything for them.
Big time. Big time. All right. Let's get on to a bit of Counter-Strike update news. We actually got, I would say, a pretty decent update.
Yeah.
Valve updates Inferno and Train, and we also get a bit on the Armory again. I'll come to that in a little bit. So let's start with the updates to Banana. It says, we're also tidying up a few maps. Inferno and Train have undergone some spring cleaning. You'll notice cleaner surfaces, less clutter, and a slightly wider banana.
I think everyone can
banana.
appreciate a slightly wider banana.
You had to say it. Oh, it's supposed to be like more like the old CSGO.
The whole world can cherish this news.
It is beautiful to have a wide banana. I'll tell you that now. Especially with these mollies. No, it is. This is a positive. It's a small thing, but it's a very positive thing.
I think it was one of the first things that when Inferno came out, the new one, when you played it, it was like, I have no room at all here. It just felt
everyone said it made him feel claustrophobic.
Yeah,
I remember that being the key word. Everyone being like, I feel like I'm claustrophobic.
Because like,
and if you were playing 16x9, you felt really, really claustrophobic.
Yeah, no room to navigate it, and it's like,
yeah,
from both perspectives, pushing down.
It was
banana.
Like you were pinched.
Yeah,
it was like you were pinched at all times.
Because it's like pushing down Banana City. There's like one line you can run. They spray that line, you're dead. Or you pick the other line, they spray that, and you're dead.
And also just the mollies, right? So like this is going to help with how it spreads. And I think this will give us a bit more of an actual battle on Banana.
Yeah, I think it's a great change, because at the moment I think the battles have become very stale and very nade heavy and like kind of gambly with flashes through smokes, where I think this might actually balance the map out a little bit more and have less kind of gambly situations, flip a coin, who's going to win this round.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And also, I'm hoping when they say like the less cluttered, I've not tested it because I've just got here, but I will test it. I'm hoping we see an FPS increase as well for people. Taking out some of the clutter would be good.
Yeah. Because Inferno was
they say spring cleaning. Inferno was pretty terrible for that. What did they do on Train? It says Train received the same cleanup treatments in areas like Z, Ivy, and Upper B, while the overhead roof rails of A site was shortened to make it easier to throw utility into site. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I'll have to check this, but I wonder if we're using it for Bucharest like that as well. Yeah, it says here, Inferno adjusted Banana more closely like size of CSGO. Simplified background behind T ramp, which is good because you get a better vision. Simplified view into pit, simplified background. So yeah, this is, when you read it like this, scroll down and you read it properly. Like the notes update.
The notes. But where are the notes here? There.
Let me get it. You got it?
Yes. Wait, mine's in Swedish.
Okay, well, don't start reading it out unless it's just for our Swedish viewers. But when they break it down, you can see all of this. Adjusted crates on steps up to balcony, so players step up reliably. Like these little things are huge.
Yeah,
this is great. Simplified back wall by door to Z. Simplified background by upper B entrance. Shortened overhead roof rail. We did that one. Replace see-through grating on catwalk outside of Z. Yeah, this is for better competitive, but this is actually huge. Good job, Valve.
Yeah.
I know everyone just says I fucking suck at their dick all the time, but this is actually good.
And I wish I mean, not to be the pessimist, but these kind of small updates that kind of just elevate the player experience, because they don't seem to be that hard to do,
Yeah.
If they could do it at just a few more times a year, I think we're getting somewhere, because this is definitely the right direction.
Step by step.
I mean, it seems to be also kind of taken by, feedback given to them, potentially. Like why people don't like or...
Do you know what's funny? So this update came out, right? And this is a skins thing, but someone Hobshi, his name is, said, "We appreciate the update, but I think you made a mistake with the knives. The odds to get Ruby Sapphire seem way too high in comparison to other Doppler finishes. Also, Ruby and Sapphire being very expensive. Also, looking down at your legs and spinning it, very broken, please patch." And CS replied to him and said, "You are right. When we released the Fever case, there was a bug with the frequency at which different paint finishes were applied to knives. This has since been fixed." Fuck, I missed a chance to go clean up on that. I saw in that day so many people tweeting, posting clips of insane pulls they were getting.
Oh man.
Insane pulls they were getting. Like the best they've ever had. It's always the way, man. But they fixed it, which is good for the economy. But whoever are the lucky ones. There's also a really fucking cool AWP. I don't know who made it. It doesn't say when I click out like this. Does it say if I press the button? No. Train 2025 collection, Long Dog.
Long dog.
Yep. I love that. I absolutely love that.
Let me get it.
I'll say this.
Long
this
dog.
case. Yeah, you seen it?
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, that is nice.
There's a new Glock I want as well. There's a Shinobu, which comes from the Fever case. No lighter will show you guys this. Dude, some of the skins on here are dope. There's one called Bad Trip, which kind of reminds me of a Hyper Beast in a different style.
Mac 10 skin.
Print Stream AWP is now in as well. Oof.
The Galil looks nice. Ooh, the Shinobi one was actually sick.
Yeah, that's what I want. Shinobu.
I like the AK as well.
I didn't see the AK. What's the AK?
Next to Shinobi.
Did I skip past the AK? Oh, is it? That's not my kind of thing, but yeah, I can see why you like it. Searing Rage.
Print Stream.
Yes, this is a good update. Devil, we're already nearly 2 hours in. You said we were going to be worried about stuff, and we're already cooking. We still got PGL to do. What were you going to say? You did see?
I did see people complain about the new knife, get the knife logo.
Oh yeah, it looks trash now.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's just like a mistake and they'll fix it.
Anyways, we should probably try to get to this part.
Yeah, I need to go to Media Day soon.
Soon?
No, not soon, but I mean it's 23:40 for me. Yeah. All right, so PGL Bucharest 2025 preview with me and Devwalk. I will be the interviewer content guy. There's no stage this time. We've got an awesome set of commentators. Launda, Scorny, Dinko Moses all joining us. Maui, Prof coming back on the desk. Yanko, Dust, Tech Girls back for hosting with Richard. So we've got a good fucking team as well. Also, This is the first event we're starting to see some of the bigger teams come. So this time, G2 Esports have accepted the invite. Mongols, FaZe, Eternal Fire, Falcons, Liquid, Furia, Virtus Pro, Game Legion, 3D Max, Astralis, Pain, Apogee Esports, Complexity, Legacy, and Rare Atom from China. Let's go. This is actually pretty dope. So overall for me, I'm looking at this could be where Eternal Fire lift their first trophy if Zontaras is actually better. Mongols have a chance of lifting another big trophy. Favorites on paper, people would be looking at and say G2 can do it. And it's not in the arena. Obviously, the arena didn't work out for them in Lisbon, but you might put G2 as favorites.
But you could also see this as Liquid's chance, kind of get the...
the honeymoon start with siuhy into the trophy lift, and then the whole world starts believing again. The North American CS is back with 2 Polish guys and an Israeli.
I mean, honestly, I could see Gamer Legion doing well. Could see Eternal Fire, G2 as well.
That middle of the pack, by the way, if you're looking at it from HLTV side where it shows the VRS rate, so it's the VS rank 15, at the 14. Date closest. Yeah, but I feel like you got Mongols, Eternal Fire, G2, then anywhere from FaZe to Pain, maybe I would include, no, I won't include Furia. From FaZe to Pain, that's a whole coin flip. That is a whole coin flip.
I mean, I would probably take out Astralis with any chances. I feel like I underestimate 3D Max, but I don't see them winning an event like this either.
No, I don't put them in winners category. That's for
No.
sure.
So like, I'll probably exclude Astralis, Fury, and 3D Max, and have the rest of the teams could probably win it. They have a
So
chance.
let's do this then.
Yeah.
Your prediction and my prediction for winner of PGL Bucharest 2025. I'm going to go out and say it. I've just got a feeling it's going to be Eternal Fire's time to finally lift the trophy. Only if Xantares is actually really back at full health. I just need him to be well.
I was also going to say the Walking Zombie and Eternal
The walking
Fire.
corpse.
The Walking Corpse. Yeah.
The walking zombie. Zombies do walk. Yes, that is correct. The walking corpse
Some
is the
crawl.
accurate description.
Depends on what movie.
True. When their legs have been cut off.
Yeah.
So you don't believe in a G2 or?
I think they could definitely do it, but I've always been an Eternal Fire kind of sympathizer, or what do you call it? Sympathizer.
Yep.
So if I'm not backing them now, then
when would you do it? Yeah.
So I
No,
have to go.
for me, Mongols, Eternal Fire, G2, FaZe are all looking like teams that could be a team that wins the trophy.
I mean,
G2 and
Mongols,
FaZe more off the name.
They didn't look that great last event compared to what I've seen.
Yeah, they didn't make playoffs again, which was kind of sad. They lost their streak since before Shanghai.
And if anything, if there's any tournament to shape up in, FaZe.
This is the one.
Now.
Yeah.
If you don't do well in this, I don't know.
We're worried.
Yes.
I feel like this should be grand finals or panic button for FaZe. Honestly. I know it's rough to say. I know I said I'd give them until after the major, but like I want to see it. I want to see them doing very well. They should be able to do very well.
What do you think? Legacy, they have this Dumao kid.
Some of the players are individually okay on Legacy. Lux is now the leader. I'm going to speak to him on media day because I know Lux really well from Pain. I knew him from Fluxo as well. I like the guy a lot, but I'm not sure what to make of him. Definitely got upside potential in there. Definitely got an upset potential.
Dumao was actually really good when
they can surprise people. They can do some damage, and they're playing Liquid first game. Luckily, there's no best of ones. It's all best of three. So
and Rare Atom is no joke to play against.
No,
we played against them. They are annoying as hell to play against.
It's a different style of CS.
Yeah.
But it's not Tyloo that made it. Where did we last see? So, what did they last play in? The Astana qualifier. They didn't qualify. Their first games against VP is kind of rough. We'll do our predictions for the whole thing. So, we're both going with Eternal Fire then?
Yes.
We both picked Eternal Fire to win it. I think Mongols, G2 or FaZe have a chance of also doing it. Let's go down then. Let's do our matches. So the opening matches for the whole event, and we'll predict each one.
All right.
All best of three starting at 10 a.m. on the 6th of April. So first game, the Mongols against 3D Max.
Mongols,
yes. Yeah, definitely. Virtus Pro versus Rare Atom.
I mean, you have to go Virtus Pro, but I think Rare Atom can surprise you. They can surprise you.
I think it's too much of an ask for Rare Atom. I believed in VP taking down FaZe, but I think it's too much. They might get a map.
Yeah.
But the individual adjustment should be strong enough.
If it was a best of one, I could have probably gone with Rare Atom, but it's not.
Now, what's interesting is that Complexity going up against Falcons. Complexity have been here in Europe playing some online cups. They've also dominated in NA. They actually qualified for some events as well. They beat Wildcard to make it to here at Bucharest. They're doing work. They're doing work to be proud of. But I don't think they're beating Falcons, so I'm still going to have to go with Falcons on that one.
I'm going Falcons as well.
Cool. Now, this one we might be torn on. G2 Gamer Legion.
Dude, I don't know. I think this is a game where...
Opening game. Swiss system of the tournament.
Is this where you pick G2 just because we might have Mondesi as a guest?
You don't have to. But I'm just saying.
Gamer Legion is interesting to watch. They have had
got two Swedes on.
They've had these games where they've looked amazing, playing against like even top tier teams. But they've also had like the last time I saw them, they kind of fell flat, I felt like.
When did they last play? When was their last game?
Uh,
EPL. Okay, they've been taking chill time because they're pretty high up on the rankings.
Yeah. So it's slightly
They've had just under a month off. They were eliminated from EPL by G2 as well. I'm going G2.
I will go G2 as well, but there is... I think out of the opening games, it might be the most interesting one.
Yeah, it's got some spice to it. Okay, after that, we got Eternal Fire taking on Pain. I know you love the Pain guys, but I'm going Eternal Fire.
Eternal Fire, 100%.
Liquid versus Legacy. I'm taking Liquid. I believe in siuhy. I believe the twist going back to Star Rolls is going to be nice.
I have to take Liquid as well.
Okay. FaZe versus Astralis. FaZe.
Yeah, I have to take FaZe.
Furia versus Apochi. Or is it Apogee? I don't know how you say the name.
I mean, I have to take Furia, but I don't hold Furia very highly.
Bro, when I'm scrolling down Furia's past wins, yeah, they beat MIBR, M80, NRG, Lin Vision. I can't see the last time they beat a European. Okay, the last time they beat a European team was Imperial Female.
Yeah.
And Namiga. And then like Apogee is still beating Metasport, Fnatic. They don't really play against this level of opposition. Yeah, you got to take Furia. Okay, there's no real exciting ones with this then. So let's get it for everyone out there. Mongols wins over 3D Max, VP wins over Rare Atom, Falcon wins over Complexity, G2 over Game Legion, Eternal Fire over Pain, Liquid over Legacy, FaZe over Astralis, Furia over Apogee. Oh, that wasn't so exciting.
And if someone asks as a friend to borrow money to make this bet, you don't enable your friends to do this.
Don't allow them to do it. Don't allow them to do it at all. I think this Bucharest could be quite interesting. The only thing that makes it less exciting is that it doesn't affect the VRS for the major. Yeah. It's a bit of practice before the major and getting into that kind of thing. For a team like G2 needs to really work on themselves. They're right opposite my room, by the way. They probably hear me talking too loudly. But
it's also a good opportunity to kind of back yourself up to grab some VRS points in your rucksack
for the future.
Heading into the second layer of the year, because it's quite tight into it. You're probably going to have a lot of these points left into getting invites after. So I think it makes sense that these teams still gonna fight, tooth and nail for this tournament and make the best out of it, So in that point, it's definitely interesting. It could be really interesting for Liquid if they do well to kind of see if the siuhy loan works out, see if it can kind of rocketeer their path and trend upwards. So there's still a lot at stake, even though
it's exciting from a storyline point of view.
Yes.
There is so many maybes here. Astralis must bounce back. If they don't, it's GG.
I mean, I would almost put FaZe in the same category.
No, I personally have given FaZe until after the major, but I can't give Astralis till after the major. They've had more than enough time now.
All right.
Astralis, they're on the panic button. I'm actually going to get a panic button that we're going to hit every time we have a panic moment, and that's right now is the Astralis moment. FaZe is not coming just yet, but like this is one where playoffs could get very interesting for the teams that could be here. G2 have a lot to prove. Eternal Fire and Mongols do as well. FaZe, Falcons in the same boat. VP needs to have a jump up. I'm very excited to see what can happen. And remember, we got playoffs and also a third place decider match as well for the prize money and how that all works out. And remember, it's a $1.25 million prize pool. And it's the first PGL event with the club share. We touched on it before with obviously them going back on what they said. And it's like whatever the players get, the team gets the other half. So it's 50-50 every step of the way. Any final words? Any final thoughts, DW?
Well, my final thoughts is essentially that we have to be better at asking viewers for questions at the end of the segment.
Yes.
I think that's...
You know what's easier?
Yeah.
For our audio only listeners, they get this earlier than anyone else. It comes out on YouTube a day after we release the audio. So here you go. Enjoy the audio, guys. If you've got your questions, join the Discord. It's on allaboutcs.gg. Click on the Discord, go in there, because we're going to have Monity answering your questions as well. Next episode. That's a banger. Don't forget it. Yeah. All right. Well, this has been episode 6. Episode 7 will include Monity live here from Bucharest. Devort will still be at his home, but me and Monity will be side by side and we'll be talking all about Counter-Strike. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next one.